Everybody, welcome to G4G here on YouTube. Today we're taking a look at Marvel Future Fight, and we are taking a look at the latest update to the game as I reduce the mic volume a bit, which always seems to jack up for some particular reason. So this is quite the update over here. It does not give us anything to do with Apocalypse, which has been teased. However, it does tweak Thanos a bit with a new uniform, and we get a lot of other goodies. So, first things first. Shadowlands now goes up to 30 floors, and we also have Spider-Man 2099. If you were a Marvel Avengers Alliance player like myself, 2099 was actually pretty good. Now, I think by the end of the game, honestly, Spider-Man Noir had the power ranking out of all the Spiders. Spider-Man, in his original days, was pretty decent in his Fantastic Four, or Future Foundation uniform. It was pretty solid. The symbiote suit never took off, although I wanted to try something at the time with the symbiote suit in its infiltrator form, but I never got around to doing it. And unfortunately, Amazing Spider-Girl, who I wanted to team him up with, took a nerf that she was basically useless. Spider-Man 2099 was pretty cool, and I always loved that one ability where he goes in for a bite, because the way that it was oriented on the game sprites, it always looked like he was head-nomming. It looked like he just jumped on somebody, went nyang, and just bit them right in their fucking cranium. He was pretty good, and, you know, he had the AI protocol and everything like that. But honestly, by the end, Spider-Man Noir really had the power ranking. Second to him all time was maybe Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom was an absolute destroyer of worlds when he first came out, especially teamed up with Beast. But of course, Spider-Man Noir was very happy with the trigger-happy groups, and he could detect invisibility. I would love to see Spider-Man Noir appear in Marvel Future Fight. So here we go. Let's take a look at what we've got. So, first thing that I'm going to do with my 20 bio selectors is I do have him unlocked already, but I'm going to dump another day into Miguel, which will allow me to 2-star him. And what's pretty cool is now when you star people, the game puts you directly into working with that person. And it just highlights it and you stay with it, which is really nice, rather than having to dump a bio selector on him and then go find him and then be like, oh, well, you know, he's a new character, so he's all the way at the end, blah, 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 scroll. It's just cool that the game is like, hey, you just upped your character. Do you want to work with it? So the event has now changed, and just like the most recent event, it now gives gold. A sizable amount. I mean, 10k per thing for all of them. So you're just getting gold now. You're no longer getting tokens. In the token shop, I evenly balanced them between Absorbing Man and Titania, because I really needed to check out what each one was like to see if I should favor one over the other. And that's what I'm going to do now. But let's just go through and take a look at the characters, and we'll take a look at the uniforms. So for a roster update, here's how my roster looks currently. Corvus Glaive recently got built up all the way and is now in use for me. Proxima's been done. Mags, Wolverine, Cyclops, Agvi, Agent Venom, Carnage. You know, all the big hitters. Anti-Venom was a recent T2 for me, and I'm not unhappy about it. I like them. Of course, remember, your Urus were taken away, so you have to give them back. Even at the lower levels of his skills over here, he does do pretty well, and he also has a lot of healing on his abilities. So right now his obelisk is actually fucking killer. 2 times recovery rate, which is pretty cool, but the shock rate, the shock wave effect is not. There is a daily now to work on your custom gear, so I will go ahead and take him. Honestly, I should keep some of these immune to web effects so that I can do my PvP timeline, because fucking Spider-Man is everywhere. That's who I avoid now, honestly. When it comes to doing PvP, is I avoid teams with Spider-Man. So of course we have the new UI. There's profile. Oh, excuse me. There's profile. There's character gear, which is where your urus are. And you are now limited in changing your options. There's only one option that you can change, but as you can see here, it is only 1 gold. And it's that ignore defense over there. If we do auto change, you still get the options. However, you now are picking from a huge list. But the bonus is really good. So, just for example, over here, I'm going to try to re-roll for skill cooldown. Definitely not recovery rate, because the obelisk is really good over there. It failed. However, it's only 1 gold. 587, 585. There we go. So, I mean, yeah, much, much cheaper. And if we change option over here, so there's skill cooldown again. So I'll leave that. Skill cooldown again, I'll leave that. Skill cooldown, leave that. Okay, perfect. Alright, so actually I see, is the bonus, I think I get it. The bonus is for all of them. There's your skills, there's your ISOs. I happen to pull Smart Raccoon for him. I kind of don't want to lose double recovery rates, but the proc is bad, honestly. I might keep it that way. Elsa. Why is she appearing in her default? No, that's not a default. What am I thinking? Oh, is it really going to reset the list every time I come out of it? Is it going to make it go all the way back to the beginning? Yeah, I see why I made that mistake very briefly. It was just for a second. Yeah, it's going to bring the list all the way back. Well, Kid Kaiju's got a uniform. We'll get to that. I'm definitely grabbing the uniform. And I'm honestly, my other mythic ticket that I've been holding, I'm going to use it. So there's the end of the T2s over here. Honestly, I think Thanos should be next. But my god, that's going to be a project and a half over there, especially with the black antimatter. Because it legitimately, I've not really been world bossing as much as I should have, because everything was kind of going to the ABs. But Rogue is getting close. I want to get her up there. Beast, not as quickly, because Storm is needed for Jean. But Goliath got up there for me. Luke got up there. She-Hulk. Spider-Man. Should T2 him. He's a giant pain in the ass. And here's where the 60s start to peter out. So let's take a look at the new folk. Here's my Rogues Gallery, how they've been doing. Mysterio's there. There's Vulture. Rhino was the one I was working on second. So my Rhino is kind of built up. He's who I've been farming when I do the Spider-Man specials for the dailies and stuff. Alright. Here he is. Spider-Man 2099. I've actually heard that he's pretty solid. I mean, he looks kick-ass. I've always loved how aggressive this uniform has looked. And let's take a look at his skills and everything. Sticky Bomb and Mr. Spider. So I wonder what it's... Okay. So it actually tells you how to use the character now. That's cool. Deal additional damage after the skill is over and best used in conjunction with other skills. It can overlap with the decrease all defenses effect of Sticky Bomb. It also will work on world bosses or targets who are not affected by debuffs. Well, that's cool. Deadly Rake. Physical damage, physical damage. Future Trap. Web for 3 seconds, and it's on an 8-second cooldown. Sticky Bomb applies to enemies stun, decrease of all defenses which stack, and a web and physical. Very interesting. So a 2-second stun, and then maybe a web, so maybe out of control for 3 seconds. Hopefully the web does not overlap the stun. That would suck. It would be nice if that was a good 3-second crowd control over there. Accelerated Decoy. Activation rate 50% chance when hit. Applies to self. Only guards against 1 hit, but that's at this level. Ignores invisibility. Target for 75%. So does that mean like people like Clea and AO might have trouble if 2099's on the field? Spider Illusion, more physical damage. Spider Mirage, another web for 2 seconds, down for 15. Lila AI, we know this from Marvel Avengers Alliance. Applies to self, guaranteed dodge, increase in skill damage, and bonus damage. Enhances effect of accelerated decoy, which is that. And future technology. So we remember that from Marvel Avengers Alliance too. Applies to all allies, ignores target dodge rate. Yeah, we would have to do the Marvel Universe way in order to. They should move that over to people. They should move the, the bumping up of stats to like 4, 5, and 6 to a more accessible screen to see what final timers are like. So there's his combo. A little bit of an uppercut at the end. Nice push. Wow, that's up pretty quick. Huh. That's a good move. Well, no, the cooldowns are probably all reduced. Yeah, I think all these cooldowns are way too short, but wow. That is a lot. Damn. His 5. Jeez, timelines might all be spiders after this because yeah, 1-on-1 you just might never have a chance of going if you're running him with Hobo Spider. So now we got the AI coming after me. Yeah, he's up in the air for a long time on that one. Bring him in, web him again. God, that is a long ability. Let's see, well, I can't really tell what level it is, unfortunately. I wonder if it is max, but damn. If you had really, really high skill cooldown on your cards and your character, man, he might be as lockdown-ish as Hobo Spider. Alright, let's scroll over and look at Absorbing Man and Titania. So here is Absorbing Man. Character gear. Profile. Skills. Using the absorbing skill will activate a physical damage immunity effect and physical damage reflect, creating a dominating advantage of, so Luke Cage in Alliance Conquest, maybe? Him and Absorbing Man together, just being the destroyer of the physical realms. Not destroyer as in the adjective, but destroyer as in the noun destroyer, the character in the game, and what he does for energy. Plus itself reflects 50% of physical damage, morph duplication, super armor, iron smash, steel cage, applies to enemies bind, increases all attacks, decreases damage received, increases effect of morph duplication, which is, wow, he is going to be tough to take down. Maybe a hit point obelisk for him. And he applies to physical defense. Very nice. Sounds really like a high potential Alliance Conquest character. Maybe not so much on the defense where people could just put energy characters against him, but maybe on the attack of a zone that's controlled by a lot of physical characters. Kind of reminds me a little bit more of Wrecking Ball from Marvel Avengers Alliance than Absorbing Man. Not that Absorbing Man made that many appearances, so that's probably the bind. Nice. So an AoE spin. Wow, that's cool. Look at what this does. It groups them and spins it with them, and then there's a pull at the end. That is a vacuum cleaner of doom. I mean, look at that. He's just... Actually, I take that back. That's not a vacuum cleaner of doom. That's a push broom of doom. He is just completely sweeps the kitchen. Wow. Where did they go? Okay, I gotta move because the drones disappeared for a second. Damn, he's got 2 collect and push moves. His 5 and his 4 are ridiculously controlly. Absorbing. Let's turn the AI on. Well, unfortunately the AI is shooting lasers. That's not very physical, but... So maybe a 3-4-5 for his big rotation. And the 1s and 2s would be fillers. Yeah, so the 3, when that's done, go into the 4 and then the 5. I like it. And let's go take a look at Captain Marvel Part 2. At least in reference to, you know, her mask. Titania Modern. Focusing power has an increased damage per accumulated damage effect and damage immunity effect. Is useful for jumping into the middle of a crowd of enemies or from running from danger. Titania Kick. Destructive Strike. Applies to all enemies. All defenses are decreased. Plus a 5% chance of missing attacks. Focusing power. Applies to self 50% chance to immunity for 5 seconds. Holy shit. Accumulates 100% of true damage regardless of defense and dodge stats. The total true damage cannot exceed blah blah blah. Increases attack. So I think what it's saying is that no matter what her defense and dodge rate is, they're taking the highest value that the attack could possibly hit you with and accumulates it into power. So it really does kind of remind me of Miss Marvel. Stronghold, super armor, all defenses up, land smash, increases all attacks, defenses, speeds, exuberant strength, there's a stun, advanced musculature, skill damage up, bonus damage up, airs a recovery, that's good, and then natural strength. I've heard tell that her and Absorbing Man could potentially be the next supervillain combat meta instead of Carnage, but man, Carnage might be hard to dethrone. So I'm going to call her Miss Marvel with Destroyer Spikes, because that's what she looks like. Oh, wow, she just gained a lot of buffs over there. Focusing power, Jesus. So there's the kick. Nothing super fancy on the kick. That might be your hit point recovery there on 2. Damn, that's another pretty fancy move there. So her 4 has a little bit of a ground attack, kind of reminds me of Quake. And then that 5. Yeah, that's the big one. You know, that's like watching a fireworks finale over here where you get a little bit of a lull and then even more comes out and you're like, oh my god, the fireworks aren't done yet. Yeah, that's her 5. Because she's got this, you think she's done, and one more. And a bunch extra on it. Yeah, depends. I mean, Carnage just, he does it all with the iframes and the ability to heal and the ability to drop heals for another team. I think maybe if you ran Carnage and these two for a little while, as you got used to them, it might be cool, but, you know, the thing about it with Carnage is he supports it even more than just himself. He certainly helps out the team. So, in all honesty, I can't say... Yes, I know, X-Men Advancement Pack, thank you. It's really hard to say who should win over here. To be honest, I think I'm going to keep them equal. 15-50. Yeah, one of the days I messed up, unfortunately. I fell asleep before I could do all of the event quests. I was just completely exhausted. So, let's take a look at the challenges and then we'll wrap up to the uniform. So, the daily challenges are send your assemble points, clear a special, upgrade a card. That's... Wow, that's obnoxious. Not happy with that. Timeline battle and a world boss clear. So this is the one that I'm hearing is annoying people. But since we're here, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to throw one of my powerhouse teams at it so that I don't have to worry about heavy control. So this is a nice little intro to a video I want to do about World Boss and Alliance Battle Team. So this is one of my favorite teams right over here. Magneto leading Cyclops and Wiccan coming in because you get Grandfather with all attack. And then you also get diametrical leaders with an energy attack over there. The reason why I do this and don't throw more mutants in there is it allows me to spread the mutants into other ones like Beast and Wolverine getting together. Wiccan, you know, honestly, Wiccan has no real use in other teams for me, so I like to do it on this one. And, you know, I'm doing my typical strikers over here. I like Sharog as much as possible, AO as much as possible. Doctor Strange also. Is he? Yeah, okay, so he's always been 10. I was thinking 8, but no, he's 10. Hype doesn't always make it into my strikers list, but sometimes he does. So this is one of my more mindless world boss ones. I can do this one without, generally do this one without being on the tablet and just mash buttons. I wonder... Thinking about what would happen if a day pops over to the Thanos or Thanos, but I think, if I recall correctly, they changed that. So I like to go shield on Magneto, Drop the 4. Drop the 5. Hello, drop the 5. Drop the shield. Drop the globe. Drop the girders on 5. Get a nice little call assist there. That's what I love about Magneto, is when that ability goes through the cutscenes, it often leads to some hysterical results. And I mean, this is why I call it one of the more mindless ones. I mean, I can just sit here and spam buttons, and Magneto has barely lost any health. We're gonna get some filler 1s and 3s in there. And, I mean, really. Yay, so yeah, now we get these tooltips. Black antimatter, Phoenix Feathers. They say Phoenix Feathers because of the fact that you convert it. Norn Stones, Amcron Crystals. There you go. So, I mean, if you're a relatively advanced player, I don't necessarily think the world bosses are going to be bad as a challenge, but for beginners, could be an issue. So, I'm going to pop over to the uniform store, and then we should be able to wrap it up. Maybe I'll go by and do one more boss clear with a ass kicker team. Uniform upgrade material pack. 3.5k crystals. 300 biometrics. That's actually kind of cool. A Nornstone selector. Uniform upgrade kit. That is tempting. Can be purchased from the The black antimatter's a little weak, but that's, I don't know. That one's tempting. So, uniform upgrade material pack in the store. That's the one we were talking about. Uniform upgrade pack, smaller, and then escalating. Not too bad, because, I mean, there are some definite good uniforms over here. Here's the little $2 Parker Industries thing. It's not that special, but the custom gears at 4 stars is not too bad. Absorbing Man packs, Titania packs. So what you could do is something like the uniform upgrade material pack on Kid Kaiju, and then you could go Absorbing Man and Titania over here. If we go over to uniforms, we have the new one for Yondu, which apparently changes a lot of skills and gives him his Volume 2 look. Decreases skill cooldowns by 50% for 10 seconds. That seems like that's a very good proc. That makes that a pretty solid uniform. I know people who love Yondu and use them a lot for speed. I never really got into them. We have a Spider Gwen uniform, which is basically her unmasked. Pretty nice looking uniform. Activation rate when dodging increases all attacks. 3 change skills. Can't necessarily say that this one is worth your hard-earned crystals, although that is a nice butt. Thanos, man. This is the one. Call this one Hobo Thanos, too. I mean, geez, it looks like he's been exiled somewhere. Probably worth it, even if your Thanos isn't built, because there is that general consensus that you will build your Thanos eventually. Especially now that he has a uniform. This one, I'm absolutely pulling the trigger on this one without even looking. So, Rage of Hyvo applies to all allies, guard against, so that's a swap out mechanic now, like Werewolf. Very interesting. An increase in attack, though, that's pretty cool. Smash for summon, summon illusion with 150%. Yeah, that one's, I mean, he's king of speed right now, and none of those change skills look like they're bad, so absolutely why not? I mean, you're going to get the buff stats and everything, so you definitely want to do that. So, as a matter of fact, let's take him out versus a world boss. And that's how we will wrap the video up. And he'll be physical, so that'll be good for that. So, when I run Kid Kaiju, what I like to do is I grab Elsa as the lead for the physical attack bonus. Kid Kaiju, now, if it has to be all speed, Speed Wong comes in. Not to be confused with Speed Weed from Law and Order. And I'll show you what the Wong... yeah, Wong's not available for this one. So, when Wong is not available, or I have the choice, I go with Amadeus... Not you. Amadeus Cho. Because I get the critical damage up. I get cooldown duration down. Movement speed is eh. But, I mean, really, it's the Elsa leadership, and you get some good stuff there off of Cho. This is not an energy team, so we are going to go with the super villain up, and we will go with the physical attack up. This is one of my go-to teams when it comes to things. I do use it in AC if I need a powerhouse team to clear a spot in AC, and it's a lot of blasters. I will pull a team like this out. I mean, Kid Kaiju is amazing for Alliance Conquest because of all the summons. They hold a lot of aggro. I've watched this team kind of get melted in an AC, including even the Elsa. But then Kid Kaiju was able to do the rest of it all by himself, pretty much. Because they were just summons all over the place. I need to settle into my right pattern over here, which is... to get the guard against hits, cancel, cancel, cancel out, ride the dragon, shield, throw it, cancel it, cancel it, ride the dragon, get a striker. Oh, ow. Yeah, sat in a laser beam there. That was a little rough. It just chewed up the hit counter, unfortunately. I find Kid Kaiju to be pretty much the laggiest character on my Android tablets. Kid Kaiju fights are rough on the machines because there's so many summons out there. Machines just lag like crazy, and it's pretty much Kid Kaiju that does it. Sometimes Thanos meteors will do it, but there we go. There is the new update. We have some changes to the dailies. People need to go back in and fix their Urus. I've heard that ISO combining has gotten a lot nicer and a little bit more predictable. Let's go to Wolverine. Go here to equipping the Urus. So yeah, I have to upgrade that gear a little bit further. Wolverine's still working for me. Wow, that's... Man, that is a lot of Uru to see out there now. Yep, and oh, yeah, I know what I wanted to do before I go. Since I said I was going to do it once I heard he was getting a uniform. Uniform, MFF variant, uniform list. Uniform upgrade, upgrade ticket, there it is. Mythic Kid Kaiju, Speed Day, man. That's going to be fun. I bump up Iron Fist, which is pretty cool. I don't really care about Ghost Rider that much, but Iron Fist is pretty cool. The energy attack, new options will be added if the option uniform is changed. See if I can get it over to a physical. Critical damage, nah. Nah. There we go. Physical attack. Cool. Alright guys, so there we go. I hope you built up a lot of crystals because there's fun stuff in the stores and everything. Enjoy your new Kid Kaiju. He probably is going to reestablish himself as the king of speed. I just don't really see a threat right now. Combat Villain Day could be interesting with Titania and Absorbing Man. Or Titania and Absorbing Man. Carnage might have his work cut out for him a little bit. Universal Day, man. Well, there is Universal Supervillain. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this affects Thanos. Unfortunately, mine is not built, so I really can't comment on it. I've been building others along the way, but I do kind of believe he was next, although some people said to go with Ebony Maw next. I don't know about that anymore, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Peace out, everybody.